you need well over a dozen precision machined parts working together within fractions of a second to get that magic propelling around downrange and on target. Problem is, the whole gas system buffer assembly may be a bit of the muzzle device. It can be a finicky system to get right and have your AR singing properly. Not to worry, it's stupid easy with the right tools. So let's talk AR-10 gas blocks, tubes, buffer weight, springs, muzzle devices, BCGs, charging handles, a little bit about stocks. Hey guys, Randy here from AT3 Tactical, delivering the goods today on AR-10 function cycle. Definitely not the 101 college course for how it all works, because we did that in the AR-15 series, but all the different choices and nuances in the parts that make the function cycle. I had to throw in muzzle devices and stocks in here too, mostly because we didn't hit on them yet, but for some of you putting some of those hush-hush sleeves on your barrel, your gas and buffer choice will matter more. So let's get rolling. Low-hanging fruit first, stocks. And this one, it's really easy. Just like your AR-15, there's really only two main choices: longer rifle length and shorter carbine length. Yes, A5 and others exist, but the first two make up 80% of the choices. Best part though, your AR-15 and AR-10 use the same buffer tubes, but that's the only part in this back end area like that. But the good thing is you already have a leg up because you have one on your AR-15. Bringing it back to our four main reasons that shooters fall into AR-10s to begin with: hunting, long range precision, running, gunning, that sweet range toy. For those heavier barreled long distance plinkers, some of you hunters, you might be looking at something with more weight in the back, like the full-size Magpul PRS here. AR-10 competition gunners, ditching weight is likely the goal, so a lighter, more maneuverable, likely collapsible stock is the way to go. The SLK Magpul is my personal favorite. Range toys. The world, guys, is your oyster here for stocks. The rest of us just live in it. In the end, you're matching your mission. Do you want max stability with a fixed stock? Do you need a little more pad to reduce some of that felt recoil? Oh, and just a hot tip, just keep it to mil-spec diameter buffer tubes. The majority of stocks, they're going to be designed to fit mil-spec buffer tubes, especially the ones you want in those sexy colors. But keep in mind that the larger commercial diameter tube is out there and your mil-spec stock won't fit on it. All right, let's get dirty and kick this thing off with buffer weights, buffer lengths, and AR-10 buffer springs. This is one area that could gloss your eyeballs over with the amount of loose information and opinion out there, but I'll tell you, it's extremely easy, and here's why. The AR-10 buffer system length is based on our AR-15. There's two: rifle length, around 10 inches long, carbine, around 7¼ inches long. But that's where it ends, because the weights and the springs, it's a whole different ball game. And yes, like I said, we will circle back and explore things like an A5-2 with AR-15 weight combos, but let's keep it simple for today. Let's go ahead and knock out AR-10 rifle length buffer systems first, since carbine is likely what the majority of us are all going to go with anyway. Remember, this is for those longer fixed stocks. Think of your M16A2, and the pool for buffer weight and spring combos here, it's pretty much the same. Rifle length springs around 13 inches, a 5.4-ish ounce buffer weight, and just under 5.3 inches long. Outside of that, there might be a couple specialty AR-10 rifle length buffer and springs floating around, but actually the shorter carbine buffer systems, it's going to be the top choice for sure. AR-10 carbine buffer weights and springs all are going to be just a skosh under 2.5 inches long. The most common weight you'll see is 3.8 ounces, and there are a handful of other weight options up to 4 or 5 ounces. Here's where the information out there, guys, it gets a little gray. Lots of forum and group posts of folks, you know, they're asking about their very specific setup for their AR-10. The problem is Those questions, they might help steer you in the right path for your own AR-10 and its mission, but getting to the range, having a malfunction or improper cycling because you got the wrong one, it's not going to be fun. So is there an answer for keeping all that hair in your head? Guys, if this is your first rodeo mixing and matching AR-10 buffer weights and springs like it is for many of us, fork over the extra 10 to 15 bucks and grab an adjustable buffer like this one from Odinworks. At least I'll have options out there on the range to dial in my function if it's slightly off here or there. I like that better than being completely SOL. Actually, to that point, and on to our next AR-10 part, don't get too wrapped up in solving ejection and functions issues just using buffer weights alone, because the gas is another major part of the entire equation, but it's also not complicated. AR-10 gas blocks and tubes. Right off the bat, gas tubes are the same for your AR-15. There's 4 lengths, completely dependent on the manufacturer of your barrel as to which length you get. However, unless you're getting into some of those shorter than 16-inch AR-10 range toys, rifle length, mid-length gas tubes, they're going to be the most popular. Just make sure to check first. As for gas blocks, another easy one here because our AR-10, our AR-15, they share similar gas block journal diameters. Maybe not down to that 0.625 inches like your AR-15, but for sure 0.750 up to 0.936 inches are the gas blocks you'll find for your AR-10. The point is, do not overlook this. Just match your gas block to your barrel listing. Also, don't overlook adjustable gas blocks like the Arrow or the Odinworks. I'd say mission critical on AR-10s that you plan to keep quiet with a suppressed attachment, not only for dialing in your function cycle, but when you have your can on or off, it changes the gas completely. You want to be able to adjust that. To that point, you're probably going through various grains and cartridge loads, in which case those change the dynamic of the gas. Now that I know how all these parts play together and which does what and how to adjust them, I'm going to get the adjustable because I get more finite control over my rifle's function. Oh, got a little hot tip for you on installing your gas block. Forget roll pin punches. Forget those bracing blocks. Flat-faced channel locks. And my favorite tiny little curved needle nose tools. Squeeze to set, readjust the pliers, squeeze to finish. Maybe add a little tape on the flat face pliers if you want to avoid a gash or a scuff if and when you slip. Since we're on that topic of adding a hush-hush sleeve or whatever you want to call it on the end of your AR-10, let's chat muzzle devices real quick. This is another one that we hit extremely deep in the AR-15 series, and really the only difference between the two, AR-15 and AR-10, is the thread pitch. Your AR-10 barrel is threaded for 5/8 by 24 muzzle devices. After that, it's your choice which muzzle device matches your mission. Flash hiders for low light ops, muzzle brakes to take the edge off the recoil a bit, compensator to keep you shooting flat on follow-up shots, maybe a combo of any one of those as an adapter for a suppressor. Let's chat next quick about AR-10 BCGs, as they also have a component to the function cycle. If you want to know all about the metal types, the finishes, even how the whole BCG functions, got you covered in that AR-15 BCG episode. I'll throw it below. But for today, your AR-10, tons of 308 options, some 6.5 Creedmoor specific BCGs, and highly doubtful you have an easy time finding 243 Winchester specific BCG. Why is that? Because the 308 BCG pretty much works and is the answer for all 4 calibers that we talk about in this AR-10 series. But let's be honest, guys, a lot of us probably going to wind up on a path to building a second AR-10, and probably not the same caliber either. Closely tied to your AR-10 BCG, the AR-10 charging handle, probably the most universal part, I guess, as we talk about today, but that's because all AR-10 uppers about cut for the same. If you have a favorite AR-15 charging handle, you can't use it here, but chances are they also make one for AR-10, like the Radeon Raptor LT. As for additional features on your charging handle, suppressed shooters do not miss the charging handle's cut for porting off some excess gas. for the most part, it actually does help keep a ball of gas from blasting back right into your face. And just like that, we've made it to episode number 5. Coming up next, this one is an important one